What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be taking a look at this guy. This is the Red Horse Knives Hellraiser. Look at this thing. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. So, the Red Horse Knives Hellraiser. I mean, look at this thing. So the first time I ever really handled this knife was whenever it was donated by the man himself, Scott Big Bore Knife and Gear, for a charity raffle that I had going on. He donated this knife to that charity raffle. The person who won that knife kept it for a little bit and actually reached out to me and said that he just didn't care a whole lot. It just kind of wasn't his style, and see if I wanted to purchase it. So I ended up doing like a trade purchase for this knife. And so now it's here, but it's actually fixing to leave. I have a viewer who really wanted one of these, and I've actually been talking to him. He's really cool. His name's Tom, and he's got this knife, and he's purchased another knife from me that he's actually doing a collection of YouTubers and their knives and their stickers. I think that's pretty cool, so I feel honored that he wanted my stuff. So he's actually got a couple of knives fixing to head his way. This is one of them, and, you know, I like this knife. It's just something different. The reason that I am getting rid of it is because you guys know, as far as a one deployment method, knives I don't usually stay around. Now, this one has thumb studs rather than a flipper, and I like thumb studs more than flippers. This one does only have a thumb stud, though, on the one side, see? So, first things first, the thumb stud and the action. One of the best thumb stud action knives that I've ever handled. This thing is tuned really, really well for the thumb studs. Just flies out of there, makes an amazing sound. Oh, and I love it. This knife is the P series of the Hellraiser, which is the production series from Red Horse Knives. He does make mid-tech / customs of these that, you know, can go for some big money, but they wanted to be able to bring this design to the market at a cheaper price, and they nailed it. This right here has beautiful carbon fiber. As you can see, oy, oy, oy. Love the carbon fiber on this guy. They also make these in G10, and they also have another carbon fiber version that is a satin blade. You'll pay about $215 for the satin blade and about $225, I think, for the PVD coated blade, which really is nice. Has these holes in there, you know, just for aesthetic purposes. But it looks really sweet. I mean, it's totally different than anything you see usually your friends carry, right? And so this is very fun to carry. How does it carry? It carries really well with this titanium bent pocket clip. You know, it doesn't sit deep carry, which I know a lot of people would rather have. You guys know me, I don't care, but it also brings those holes like on the blade for design aspect. I think it looks really cool. It does go in and out of pocket really well. Kind of swoops up there. I think that might be a hot spot for some. It's really not for me. The actual ergonomics of this knife are freaking killer. It's a very comfortable knife, and as you can see, it's not a whole lot going on, just a couple of little swoops, but man, does it feel good in the hand. It is a larger knife because, as you can see, my big old meat hooks are right there at it. Does have jimping on the top of the blade, not aggressive at all. Matter of fact, I'd almost rather it not be there because it doesn't really add any grip. But it is where my thumb lands because I can't really choke up with any kind of a forward finger control or anything like that. Very nice. As you can see, the way it orientates the blade in the hand is pretty cool, right? It's very comfortable. A lot more comfortable than I remember it being. Very nice. It's not a very thick blade. It's only about 130 thousandths. Check that out, though. You guys know from my giant mouse reviews that a crown spine and something like on a Chris Reeve, I love a crown spine. It just adds an extra level of just refinement to the blade that I think is awesome. I love a crown spine, and they did a really good job on this S35 VN blade that does have a saber grind. Kind of hard to see. There we go. Kind of hard to see, but there is your Red Horse Knives logo. On the back, it has S35VN. Really, really cool looking knife. I really enjoyed carrying it. I think it's a really badass design. It just looks badass. One of the other things that's really amazing about this knife, especially at the price point, I mean, you can get a lot of good knives with a lot of great action, right? Well, like I said, this is probably the best thumb stud action knife that I've felt in a while, but watch this. The action, the closing action is amazing. Now, because it doesn't have a flipper tab, it does land on your thumbnail. Just like this guy, my Custom Knife Factory Evolution, which is way more fall shutty. But this one is absolutely great. I mean, it's fall shut. It's just not as fall shut as that other one. It's pretty smooth. It is running on ceramic bearings with a ceramic detent ball. But yes, that is going to be a thing. It's going to come down on your nail and then you close it. So if you don't like that, it's not for you. It doesn't hurt. You know, the blade's not that heavy. I mean, I do it with my Evolution 1.0, so, but a lot of people don't like it. That's fine. Just be in mind, or keep in mind that that is a thing. You can, of course, you know, just use your finger to bring it over and then let it drop that way. Or, you know, if you're on the side here, let it go and then pull it. Because if you're straight up and down, that's, I mean, there's no getting around that right there. So there's ways to get around it if you don't want it to hit your thumb. But it's freaking amazing, the action. I really, really like it. I don't usually like just the... I'm kind of getting away from the regular twill carbon fiber, but this carbon fiber is milled. Look at the milling on that, if I can get it. How it contours. They did a really, really good job on the milling of this carbon fiber, and it's nested liners because it is a liner lock, which I really like because you have carbon fiber on both sides that make it beautiful. Nice nested liners with a liner lock. The liners themselves go the full way back, and they are skeletonized. They got holes, so it really helps with the weight. Carbon fiber is a light material anyway. It is still liners though. Lockup is really good. This thing is rock solid, no blade play or anything like that. And I haven't adjusted the pivot or anything since I've had it. And I'm almost 100% sure that the guy who had it before me didn't do that either. So that is a testament to, you know, how well this thing is built, I believe. It does have some red G10 pivot collars, which I think adds a really good pop of color. And just a sexy looking knife, guys. I really, really dig it. I'm kind of sad that I'm letting it go, but it's one of those things that, you know, I'm fixing to do a collection video. This is definitely going to be in it. I finally got all my knives back for some, you know, being around the community. And so definitely stay tuned for that. That's happening. As a matter of fact, that video might go before this one. I don't know. Depends on how I feel that day. So do you guys think it looks cool? I think it looks cool. There, you know, I've got some friends, Kevin, Lefty EDC, he doesn't like this knife at all. He thinks it looks ugly. You know, and I'm more of a, I guess I like the more polarizing designs than somebody like Kevin or Jake, because I think this thing is awesome. But the thing is, it's the flipping action and the closing action that really make this knife for me. If it didn't have such great attention to detail for those factors, the detent and the closing action, it wouldn't appeal to me as much. But it does because it is. The centering is perfect. It does have barrel spacers in the back. Very minimal hardware on this thing to be able to take apart and maintain if you need to. Like I said, those ceramic bearings work really good. And let's see if I can see. I'm not sure if they are brass. Yeah, they're brass cage bearings. So, oh, I just love this crown spine. Every time I see this thing, you know, my thumb rides right here. I can really choke up if I want to, and it makes for a very comfortable grip and comfortable on the thumb if I have to get down there and really bear down on something with a crown spine. I wish more companies would do that, you know, and some of them are. But as far as Red Horse knives, this is the first design that I have handled from them. I probably won't be getting any kind of you know, a custom or anything from them. I'm just not there yet. But I wish, and I think you can buy the thumb stud that goes on the opposite side. but I don't know if it would do what I want. See how close it is to the carbon fiber there? Because left-handed, I can actually do the middle finger flick, but it is because of the cutout there that gives you the room to do that. I thought about doing that beforehand, before I decided to go ahead and sell this, but whenever I noticed that cutout just wasn't there, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to flick you off. The cutout wasn't there, and it just probably wouldn't work. I've decided to go ahead and let it go, and I'm very happy it's going to my buddy Tom, who's just become a friend at this point. We talk all the time. So let's go ahead, get behind the camera, and get some size comparisons, because this is not a small knife. Get you a closer look at this bad boy. About the, this one's the PVD coated, so you can't really see the grind lines, but on the satin one you definitely can. But get you a closer look at this guy, more so of how much, how... I fucking can't talk today. What the size is like compared to other EDC knives in this price point, and some of them not so in this price point. So stay tuned. All right. Let's get you a good look at this carbon fiber. Look how good that looks. The milling that they did on this guy really, really is nice. With the contouring, makes for a very comfortable grip. There is your hardware. I have not taken this thing apart, and I don't know if it is a captive pivot or not. So yeah, that could be an issue, but I have not taken it apart. Look at that. The pocket clip, a lot of people would say they'd rather have a 3D milled pocket clip for the price of the $215. I can see that, but for me personally, this pocket clip really works well, even though it's not deep carry. For me, obviously, it works fine. It goes in and out of pocket well and has good retention. So I'm definitely not going to say that's a negative on this knife, because it works well for me. Look at the blade from this side, where you can see the satin liners, the steel liners with the black coated blade and the carbon fiber. Just really, really looks nice. Oy. Oy, oy, oy. Look at this. Hoy. Man, I just love the way this thing fires out of there. Golly. It's just a sexy looking knife. So how big is it? Because it's not small, guys. It's about 8.625 inches overall. So you guys know me. That is a Kyle size knife with a 3.625 inch blade and a 3.5 inch cutting edge. You got about an inch of blade width there on this razor style blade that looks really cool. Woo, sorry, hitting the camera. And it's, the paperwork says it's about 140. It's more like 130 thousandths thick on the blade stock, and comes down to about 16 thousandths behind the edge. So it slices really, really well. It's a very good cutter. I didn't do a cut test. Oh my gosh. But anyway, we'll do some paper here. So as you can see, it bites in and slides. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a new setup for me, and so I'm really kind of bent over, so it's not very good for me to do that. I totally missed the cut test on those, but you'll have to trust me. It is a good slicer. It's not the best in the world, but 16 thousandths behind the edge, hell yeah, that works. It does have a 5-inch handle on it, so it is really nice to grab onto, and the handle width is about 1.125, and it's a little over a 1/2 inch thick here, so fills the hand out well, especially for somebody with big hands like mine. So really, really nice size. I think it's a great size for everyday carry. Before we get into size comparison, let's just see how much this thing weighs. Because, full steel liners, but they are nested, they are skeletonized, and carbon fiber on both sides. So you have a 4.5 ounce knife, with a 3.625. It's falling short of the ounce per inch, but it is really close. I think a lot of people would not really mind carrying this knife this size for that weight. I think comparatively it is a very, very nice weight for the size. Let's go ahead and put it up against some size comparisons. Here it is against the Spyderco PM2. There we go. You can see the PM2 is just a slight, just a little bit shorter. Definitely a different profile altogether. But most people carry something like this. You carry something like this, it's going to get attention. People are going to be like, whoa, what is that? I think that's the part of the cool factor of this knife. Let's put it up against another blade with some carbon fiber here. Here it is, the front flipper from Artisan Cutlery, the Centauri. That you can see the Centauri is actually smaller, which the Centauri is not a small knife. So it is actually a little bit smaller. You can see the, similar patterns of carbon fiber there. I think that the Red Horse does have it by a little bit as far as the way the carbon fiber looks. I really just think it looks amazing. And then another knife that I have to just bring out because I've just been freaking drooling over this thing that does have carbon fiber. This is the Leon Mall Field Duty. This one has some marbled or shredded carbon fiber. And as you can see the difference, they are pretty close on overall length. It's kind of hard to tell here. The Hellraiser might have it by just a little bit, but I think it's because of the angle of the camera. Yeah, but of course, two different, you got titanium and carbon fiber, you got steel and carbon fiber, S35VN M390, but as far as the action, this is pretty much my favorite action knife. The full review on this guy's coming up soon because of the whole deployment, but this is so close to being the best thumb stud action knife I think I have ever handled. I can really only think, the Wii Banter was pretty good. The Asher Spiro was pretty good. This, I think, has them both beat as far as just flying out of there. As soon as you get past that detent, it just wants to go. So the freaking Hellraiser is hell on wheels whenever it comes to the action. And I think that is what would make this knife worth it for most people. It's a polarizing design. I get it. Not a lot of people going to like it. But for those of us who are knife enthusiasts and knife collectors, to have something different like this in the collection, I think is well worth it, especially at the price point and the materials that you're getting. S35VN, some people are not going to like that. They would rather have M390. I get it. But S35VN is a good steel. And at this price point of about $215, $220, it is kind of getting up there. But the quality that you get out of this knife, I think, makes up for that because it's just a wonderfully done knife as far as fit and finish, action, and everything in between. Come on, camera. I really do think it's worth it, and I can recommend this knife, especially if you like the design. I think you would be happy. Now, I haven't seen a lot of these in stock, but I think if I will have it linked down below, the actual Red Horse Knives website, where they did have some of these. I think the only one they had was this one, which was the PVD coated one. So if you want something like this, you might want to jump over there and get it quick, because I don't know how much longer they'll be there. I couldn't find it anywhere else on Blade HQ and any of those other retailers. So definitely go jump on it if you're wanting one. I think it is a good price. Guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and checking it out with me. Just as a reminder, guys, me and Kevin Lefty EDC have a live stream every other weekend, so definitely stay tuned and check that out. We have a lot of fun, just a couple of guys drinking beers, talking about knives and EDC gear. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. It flip-flops between mine and Lefty EDC's channel every other weekend, and it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, so I hope to see you there. Guys, stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.